Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dungeon Dive. Daniel here, and welcome back to the Peril of Cymbaline Island, or Isle, I should say, the Peril of Cymbaline Isle. And we are on day 3 of our urban adventure, where we are trying to find out why a cult has been plundering the tithes of the local church. We have our antagonist is the cult, and our target, our protagonist, the person who is that we know who is involved in this, is Salim Sakawi, a priest, and he is friends with our friend Xavier, the innkeeper for the Crooked Violin. So I have marked off day 3 here on our calendar. Now today I kind of want to see how quickly I can get the ball rolling on some things. So one of the things we're going to focus on today is taking a look at another kind of oracle system. And I am going to be exploring different oracle systems as we play the game. And today we're going to take a look and probably use one of those, and that is the encounter building cards. Encounter building cards, and those are designed by Eric Bright. And these are available on Drive-Thru Cards and Drive-Thru RPG. And there are 4 decks that come with these, and they are used for various things. This is the decisions. This is a basic oracle, yes, no, and that kind of thing. The PDF rules that you can print out or just view online are very nice, and I do suggest reading them if you get the cards, because it does give you some good ideas on how to use them and how the different decks are organized, and different ways that you can use each deck. And so far I think these are pretty cool, and I think they were about $10 each, but I believe they're having a sale right now and you can get a bundle. And if you're looking to get into solo role-playing, I think I do recommend them. And so we're going to look at maybe a couple ways that we can use these. One today as just a general oracle. So what did we do last time? Let's see here. Just a really quick recap. So we are in Halfen, we're in the Harbor District. Our heat is at 0, our threat is at 1. And on day 2 here, Salim, the priest, Xavier's old friend, was being harassed by local thugs who had a connection to the cult. So they were trying to shake him down for his tithing money. We went to Salim's house and found him being accosted by 2 thugs. We fought the 2 thugs and beat it out of them the name of the cult. And the name of the cult is the Slaves of the Judging Cloud. And is the Judging Cloud, is that the red tide or the red mist that has enveloped this land and brought with it evil? Do they invite the evil from the red mist? We don't know. What is their overall goal? We still have not figured that out. So that is one thing we may want to do today with an investigation scene. So right now we have 1 victory point towards our total of 10 that we need to make to win this adventure. We've had 1 investigation scene, and we have 1 clue which we can spend at any point now to trigger an action scene. And if we win an action scene, then we can get up to 2 victory points towards our goal. But one thing I want to do now is kind of some general oracle consulting. And I want to know if any of our 5 regulars that we hang out with at the tavern, if any of them have any kind of connections to the cult. And that might be able to plant a story seed that we can use at a later time. So I'm just going to go 1 through 5. So we're going to start off with Rhea here, our half-show shaman. And we're just going to take these, and we're going to say it's a 50-50 chance that she might know something about the cult. And we're just going to go down the line until we get a yes answer or a no but. So 50-50 chance. Yes. Okay, so yes. Rhea knows something about the cult. So she could be another seed that we could work off of to find something out. So let's see. Does she know somebody who might be involved in the cult? No. Okay. So because she's not a person that she knows, I'm going to say it's a thing. And perhaps there is something out in the wilds that she knows about. And so we could say, has she run across mentions of something about the slaves of the judging cloud on her adventures in the wilderness? Yes. Okay. So that is a good seed to plant right there. So we know that Rhea has come across some kind of markings, evidence, mention of this cult while she has been traveling throughout the wilderness. And so we're going to write that down so we remember that. Okay, so Rhea has run across evidence of the cult in the wilderness of the Isle, of Cymbaline Isle. Perhaps a ruin or a ceremony site. So she might have a lead to send us off on perhaps our first dungeon dive. So that's cool. I'm glad that it's her because she has these kind of shamanic influences and connections. One other thing I wanted to do is, because this is a city and because this city is like our whole world is custom made for adventure, custom made for heroic adventures, there is, of course, right outside the Crooked Violin Tavern, our home base, a bulletin board where people post side quests, basically. They post for help. And one thing I wanted to do is just to keep something in our back pocket. Here is turn to one of my favorite board game expansion pieces, and that is the Rumors deck from Folklore the Affliction. So not only does Folklore come with these amazing maps that you can use to trigger different kinds of scenes and adventure ideas, but it also, the expansion also comes with, it was the first expansion, Dark Hauntings, Dark Stories, I can't remember, Dark something I believe. But it comes with this Rumors deck, which is basically a side quest deck that corresponds to a lot of the map pieces. And it has a little story with a little thing that you need to do to go out and complete a side quest. And so we're going to take a look at the jobs board, and we're going to randomly draw 2 of these and pick one of these as a side quest to add to our journal, to add to our log, to maybe complete in the next session or so. So I'm just going to draw 2 from the bottom, and we're going to take a look at one of these. Okay, so we have Woman for All Ages and Lair of the Mother. So Lair of the Mother says, stories tell of the consequences that come to those who anger the Fae. Stefan, a woodcutter, and we're going to say this is in Halfen, cleared a grove of trees on his family's ancient land. This grove was special, sacred to the sacred, I should say, probably sacred to the Fae. The next night, Stefan's family disappeared. After relentlessly searching, he found a way into the Feylands, but boundaries are in place to keep intruders out. Stefan seeks the help of those with experience in crossing over to other realms. Okay, so we could go and we could help him find his family. That is pretty cool. Here's another one. A woman for all ages. A woman calling herself Mandy claims to be from the future, wearing unusual clothing and sporting a flower in her blue hair. She is presumed to be dangerous. There have been claims of her being sighted all over, we're going to say, Cymbaline Isle. And you wonder if this woman is real. So let me just back up here for a minute. So Kreml is the land that Folklore takes place in. And it also has a smaller overland map that you could very easily turn Folklore the Affliction into a solo RPG. Especially if you start getting the adventure expansion, the one that comes with kind of like a role-playing book, and you could overlay Scarlet Heroes Oracle systems or any other Oracle system on top of Folklore the Affliction, using these rumor cards and just using your imagination like we are here to use just the stuff from Folklore the Affliction as a full solo RPG. All right, sorry about that. I had to sneeze. My allergies today are killing me. All right, so you wonder if this woman is real or phantom. She may know what your future holds, so you decide to seek her out. You have 3 chances to find Mandy. Okay, so on this kind of adventure, we could go out into the wilderness and have 3 chances to find her somewhere out in the wilderness. Maybe we could travel to specific spots to try to find her, and then maybe we could find out something about our future, consult an oracle to find out something about the cult perhaps, or something else we are looking for. So we need to choose one of these, and we will keep track of one of these in our journal, in our side quest journal. And then of course that bulletin board will not have any more quests, because that's how bulletin boards work. We'll not have any more quests until we either succeed or fail at one of these. So I think I'm going to take Layer of the Mother. I'm going to go out and try to find this woodcutter's family, see if we can help Stefan, and maybe that'll give us another connection in the city to work upon. We'll have like maybe another NPC or something. So we're going to take this, and I will write this or keep this in our side quest journal for now. All right, so what I wanted to do in addition today is play out hopefully a couple more scenes. And right now I have set up a scene here, and this is in the little church that our priest friend Salim Sakawi, this is him here, that he runs this church. This is a map board from Folklore of the Affliction. These standees here, these ghost-like standees, all they are going to represent in our game are crowds, or indefinite numbers of people. But there are people in his church right now. He's got this kind of like New Age church here, where instead of pews, the people sit at tables around the church, and he just kind of like walks around and gives sermons here. So if any of you who grew up in the Christian church perhaps know about the emergent church movement that happened in the late 90s or something, when churches started meeting in bars and taverns and stuff, and they got kind of cool and hip for a bit. So that's what kind of, well, maybe the kind of preacher that Salim is. He's not a stuffy old preacher. He's into some new things, and possibly that is maybe why he's being taken advantage of by the cult. And we don't really know if he even knows that he's being, or we don't know how deep his connections go. So I have a couple questions here, so like, what is the cult's goal? What are their evil intentions? Does Salim know members of the cult? Does he know their plans? Does one of the regulars have any connections to the cult? So we have a couple questions we need to ask him, but we're going to set up an investigation scene, and let's see how that is going to play out. Okay, so we're just going to roll a d10 to see what kind of investigation scene we're going to have as our hero, Harlan Peters. And he goes into the church with Xavier, because Xavier's old friends with Salim. And we're just going to kind of question him and see what's going on, see if we need our help, if he needs our help with anything. So the investigation scene is going to be a 6, and that says ambush a dangerous actor who holds a clue, face a fight instead of a check. Okay, again, I'm going to consult the oracle for this. I'm going to ask, is one of the groups of people, the small groups of people, are they members of the cult? And perhaps they get nervous when they see us come in and start asking questions, and then we'll have to fight them. It won't really be an ambush, but that's okay. If the answer is yes, it's one of his parishioners, one of his church members. So his church members have already been infiltrated by the cult. If it is a no, then we're going to say that one of the cult members comes in, perhaps to question Salim about what happened to the thugs and the tie that they were supposed to gather at his house the other day. So we'll just take this real quick. So we'll give this another 50-50 chance on yes. Is it one of his church members who is part of the cult? No. Okay, so no. So we're sitting there, we are talking to him, and these people are listening, and through the door comes one of, these are going to be our cult members. These guys are from Pathfinder Ponds, and A cult member comes in very brazen, very brave, and we can tell that the cult is, you know, they are not super concerned about keeping their presence secret. They are brave, and so they come in, and so we're gonna have to face a fight instead of a conflict, or instead of a stat check. Okay, so I think I'm gonna start using these stats and information about the Hell Cultists, and that is from the Red Tide sourcebook for Labyrinth lore, but the Red Tide sourcebook can also be used for Scarlet heroes. And so I think I'm going to start turning to this book here when we are dealing with the cult and these Hell Cultists. So these are the slaves of the judging cloud here. And these are the infernal devotees, so these are just kind of like your standard cultist. And let's see how many of them come in. We'll do a d4 plus 1. That sounds like a good encounter to have. And that is going to be a 2 plus, or a 3 plus 1. So we're going to deal with 4 of these cultists that we're going to be fighting. So they come in, and we quickly turn around and take and start a combat with them. Okay, so their stats are, they have 1 hit die, so basically 1 hit point. They have an armor class of 9, and they attack with daggers. So they have daggers that do 1d4 damage on the damage chart. And so since we are heroes, we go first. And we're going to roll our fray die, which is a d6 and our d20 to hit. And our attack bonus is going to be a +3 for our dexterity bonus and our normal attack bonus, and then our fray die 1d6. These are 1 hit die enemies, so we can use our fray die. And oh man, that was terrible. We rolled a 1 on the 20, which is a total miss, and only a 2 on the fray die, which does do 1 point of damage. So we can automatically take out one of these cultists. And then the other 3 are going to get to attack us. So they don't get a fray die. Our armor class is, what was our armor class? I always forget. Armor class is 5. Okay, they don't have any bonuses to their attack. All right, so they're going to add a 5, and they need a 20, so they'll get 3 attacks. 3 plus 5 is 8. That is a miss. 12 plus 5 is 17. That is a miss. And 14 plus 5. Okay, so that is a miss as well. So we're going to attack the other ones. We need to get some good damage here so we can try to take out more than 1 at a time here. Oh my god. 1 and 1. This is ridiculous. We are not having a good fight. They are definitely kind of like powered up in this church or something. They're getting some holy help somehow. All right, so they're just going to keep attacking me. So they're going to need to get a 15 to hit. There's a 1, there's a 13, and a 4. Okay, so this is a really sloppy fight. Maybe we're afraid of like breaking the stuff in the church, or maybe I am. That's kind of, yeah. Let's play it like that. Like I'm kind of like holding my punches because I don't want to break any of these expensive stained glass windows, and I'm actually kind of preventing them from destroying things because I don't want them to break stuff in here. Sorry, come on, let's do this attack here. And there we go, a 3 and a 6. So what was their AC was 9, and my attack bonus is 3, so 12, 18. That's a miss, but this 3 is going to do 1 damage to one of them. So we're going to take off another one there. So now at least they are only going to get 1 attack on us. So they have like surrounded me here, and I'm in the middle there. And he's like, oh, don't break anything. And the priest is kind of cowering in the corner. These bystanders are watching scared behind their tables. They don't really know what's going on. So we need a 15 to hit us, a 17. That is going to hit. And that is a d4 damage with a dagger here. And that is a 4. So that's going to do 1 point of damage to us, bringing us down to 4 hit points. And the second cultist, he takes a swipe and he misses. Okay, come on. Now it's time for some divine retribution here. There we go. Oh, yes, a 20 and a 6. That cleaves both of them. They are both taken out. That fray die actually does 2 points of damage there. and that damage does carry through to anything within range, and we were in melee range, so we wipe out both of the cultists. And now with Scarlet Heroes, after a combat, if you take any damage, you can heal up to 2 points of damage from that last combat. And so we can go right back up to 5 points of damage. Since this is a single hero, you know, we're not really going to have maybe not a healing character in our party. And it just pushes it makes it so the game doesn't get bogged down with having to heal and rest and that kind of stuff. I like that. So we battle the cultists again and push them away, and now we can find out some information. Okay, so we do get another clue that we can use to push an action scene, and we also do get another victory point. And now we have had our second investigation, and we did get a clue. And now we need to roll a d10, and if it is a 1 or a 2, then we add 1 victory point to the cult side as well, to simulate time ticking away and their plot pushing forward as well in the background. And we rolled a 7, so no, we do not have to add a victory point to the cultist side. So we are doing pretty good there. And now we can, I think now that Salim has seen just how brazen these cult members are, he might be more willing to talk to Xavier now, his old friend. And I want to see kind of like the reaction here. I'm going to say that now Salim is a friendly NPC, so I'm going to see what kind of like his attitude is right now towards us using this NPC reaction table. And we're going to roll on the friendly NPC column here because we have saved his life twice now. And we rolled a 4. Reasoned refusal. Okay, so he's still a little hesitant. And maybe he is a little more scared of the cult than we realize. So I'm not quite sure if we will be able to get a lot of information out of him. But maybe one of his church members has heard something. Maybe they know something that we can get some information from. So again, let's consult this, and we're just going to say it is we'll say that is somewhat unlikely. So we'll go 1 worse than 50-50. So unlikely, no, but. Okay, so no, but. What would be the but here? Let's roll on here to see a 2. An adjustment to the physical environment. Okay, so maybe after we've talked to Salim, and he's still, even though we've saved his life, it's getting kind of frustrating, this guy. Even though we saved his life, he's still kind of hesitant to talk to us about what exactly is going on. But one of the church members, as we are leaving, perhaps says to us to check in the back room for something. You know, they give us a clue that maybe we need to investigate further into the back room of the church, and we might find something that we are looking for. And actually what I want to do now is I want to set up a directly following conflict scene, because I feel like there's like some definite conflict bubbling up between Salim and us. You know, I am of the opinion that we have saved his life twice. Something bad is definitely going on, but he's not cooperating, so I'm feeling some conflict here. So I'm going to roll a d10 and see what kind of conflict scene we're going to have right now. And that is a 4. Sabotage or steal the foe's possessions that are important to the plot. Roll a die. On an odd result, face a fight as well as a check. Okay, so this is actually kind of cool. We're going to say that the cult is leading on from that clue that one of the church members gave us. In the back room of this church is is something that we're looking for that belongs to the cult. And so we are going to go back there and we are going to get it. Perhaps it is a scroll of some kind. So as of right now, we're going to say that Xavier and Salim have left the building talking, maybe talking about their old times, their old days, and they've left me in here, and I have gone back into the church storage area, and I am rummaging around to find some kind of a relic that I might believe is back there. Okay, so we're going to say it's some kind of unusual book that we are looking for, that we have found in the back of the storage area. A book that, doesn't belong, contains some kind of like arcane knowledge, but doesn't belong to Salim's church. It's not of his religion, and so it really sticks out. And once again, we are at Table Fables. And I'm going to roll a d20 and consult this magical book part of this book chart, which is a d100 book chart. But I just want to look at this magical book section, because that will give us something more appropriate for a cult activity. And so a 14. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. A single page of paper bound in stained leather. If the player manages to speak the unknown script aloud, scarabs will swarm from their mouth for 1d6 days. Okay, so this is some kind of scroll that we have found, some kind of page. It's a page bound in this very elaborate leather, and it has some kind of incantation that brings forth some kind of plague. And that was stashed away back into the church. And of course, we also now need to, so we got the foe's possessions that are important to the plot. Roll a die on an odd result. We are going to be ambushed through like a window in that storage room by a more powerful cult member who sees us through the window, perhaps. So on an odd result, face a fight, as well as a check. So we did need to do a check for that. So let's see here. We're going to say that because we knew what was that we were looking for something, and we're going to give our wisdom check, which is going to be a +1. And because we knew also, we're going to say that this was an easy check. So this is a simple check. So a 9 +1 and no. Okay, so we actually did not find that book. I've misread that. Let's say we find the book, but we really don't know what it is yet. So this thing, it looks mysterious. It looks like it has some kind of connection. I, as a player, know that it is some kind of incantation to bring about some kind of plague within the city. But we need to find out more about this book. I take it, and now on an odd result, we are going to have a fight, and that is a 6. So no. We are not ambushed. We beat the conflict scene. No, we did not. So we did not beat the conflict scene. So the cult actually is going to get a point for us failing our check in the conflict scene. They saw us take it, but they did not, excuse me, but they did not ambush us. But they know that we have it. Yeah, they know that we have this book. They know that we don't really know what it is, and so they might be after us now to get it back. And so we have set ourselves back a little bit by getting some of this knowledge. So we've had our third scene. We've had a conflict scene here. And now we need to roll another d10 to see if the plot keeps furthering on the cult side. On a 1, 2, or 3, we add, nope, that was a 4, so we do not add another point there to the cult side. So yeah, okay, so that was cool. That was 2 back-to-back scenes. We have gathered some more information. The plot is pushing forward. I want to say thank you to, I should have written his name down. I'm actually going to go check. I'll be right back. Yes, I want to give a special shout out to Fred Benarski. He is a commenter on the channel, and he's been giving me some really good advice. And a piece of advice that he gave me today or yesterday was set up situations, not plot. And that's a really good, succinct way of saying the problem that I mentioned on the last video, but the problem I was having thinking that I needed to come up with entertaining plot in order to have an entertaining video for people to watch. The thing that always leads to better results is just setting up a situation. Putting our characters in a situation and then seeing what happens in that situation and driving the plot from those situations rather than having to come up with interesting plots and then slot in situations. And setting up a scene like this and just kind of seeing where it goes and really kind of like quickly consulting oracles, rolling dice, and just kind of going with the flow. And it makes it much easier to come up with cool plots too. And sorry, my dog has just completely derailed my train of thought, so thank you, Monty, for doing that. But yeah, it makes it easier to just kind of go with the flow and develop connections while setting up interesting situations. So all right, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed this installment of the Peril of Cymbaline Isle, and we will talk to you later. Bye bye.